I was brought up in Oxford. Didn't see the university side of it, but yeah, I was brought up in Oxford. I found I was quite a nervous child. I always suffered from nerves, and always had that problem since I can remember. Mum and Dad weren't about a lot. Was always on my own, done my own thing. School didn't happen. I got kicked out when I was 14 because I wouldn't go. I just didn't want to go. I mean, due to bullying and stuff like that. And anyway, I've left school. They kicked me out at 14. My uncle died, and the only person who was close to me was my uncle. And that was it. It finished me. I had a big phobia of being sick at first. I was really scared of vomiting. And my mum used to give me that. It used to be called kaolin and morphine. Well, the separate part was morphine. I didn't know I was already addicted for 3 years after this to kaolin and morphine. Well, the morphine in the kaolin. So anyway, my uncle died, and I picked up my first drink then, and it stopped all the nerves, you know, the nerve part, and I wasn't nervous anymore. I wasn't scared of being sick, so I've been sick, and after all them years of worrying, that were gone. I stuck to drink for quite a while, through most of my teenage years. Tried cannabis, didn't like it, because anything that set me up I didn't like, because it just triggered the nerves off and whatever. As I went on, I got started, you know, you got into the relationship part. Met my first love then, and it was all going well for about a year. And I knew something went right, and I was coming back at 5 in the morning, totally off my nut, didn't even know where I was coming or going. And I did say to her one night, I said, you know, I don't want to take you with me on this because something's not right. And I just went, and I went back home again. I got home, and I'm trying to think where I went from there really. It just went, things just started going more out of control really, because I'd lost her and I was drinking more, and it was just drink really. I met a guy in a pub one night and said to me, you ever tried this? So he's like, this is where I was introduced to heroin, this was. And he injected me, and I went over. I overdosed straight away. I overdosed because the first time we ever had it, and I was injected as well, and I went overdosed, and he left me in a hedge. And I woke up with a note on my chest saying gone for help, which he hadn't. He sort of feel I've been there all day. It was dark, and this is the first thing in the morning. But I loved it. There was something about it, and it just took my life away really. From there, I carried on smoking it a bit here and there. I was still drinking a bit, and then drink sort of thing for, I don't really want it. You know, sort of my thing. And then I got into heroin. By this time I met another girl. We were out one night. I was 21 at this stage. We was out this one night. Never been to prison in my life, never done any, you know, been in trouble, just petty things maybe. This is back in the 80s. Nothing really bad. I'd left the heroin then, I just thought I had a little dabble here and there. And one night, we got engaged, we had an engagement party. And a friend of mine, his wife kept coming up behind me and pulling my jumper and stuff, and saying something that had happened. He was a friend, so I said, what's the matter with him anyway? I was trying to get on my engagement party, like, you know. Anyway, it ended up outside, and he started having a go at me about something. So, and he took a swing at me, so I took a swing back, and he went over and laid on the floor, and I didn't think nothing of it, went home. And the next day I was arrested. I thought, what's all this about? And they said we're arresting you for, what was it then? GBH section 18, but we're in a tent. And I was already in shock, I didn't know what was going on, because I'd had his kids all night, because I knew he'd gone to the hospital, but I didn't really think nothing of it. And 3 days later he died, and I was put on a murder charge. And I was only 21, never been in trouble, stuck in prison, didn't even know where I was coming or going, I was in pieces. But it just felt like a bad dream back then. If I think about it now, I didn't think it was real. You know, I had this hadn't happened. So I just carried on as normal. I was just being a bit of a donut in prison and that, and just thought it was all a game. And then it went from there. She stuck by me though. We got married. I got bail because they knew it was an accident in the end. And I still stayed on the same charge. I got off. They said not guilty, but I've lived with it for most of my life, and my nerves have stayed the same. We can see it in me now. My nerves are shot. And since then, it's been in and out of prison. Heroin, in and out of prison. Heroin, in and out of prison. So it's been like that for the last 20 years, really. And it got to a stage about a year ago. I was doing a sentence, and I don't know, something went right. Prison weren't the same anymore. Things have changed so much now. You know, it weren't the odd fight. It was all knives, this, that, and the other. And not for me. It's, you know, I wasn't bribed like that. So no, I decided enough's enough. I was going to go back to Oxford to a dry house on my last sentence coming out, because to be honest, from when I was 21, it was just in and out of prison. Didn't want to know, didn't care if I died, didn't care. I had a bits of clean time, but this time something clicked. I'd had enough. I just thought, no, I can't do this no more. It was just that prison sentence. Something happened in it that something clicked, and I thought, no, I don't want this. I even said to Sam, I just don't want this no more. Enough's enough. And because I'm 42 now, well, 42 this year, and I'm thinking I'm getting too old for all this.
You spoke about prison the first few times, you know, so you didn't really mind.
No, not really. You know, prison I was so used to it. It was just like an everyday thing. But it's changed so much over the years, you know. Things have changed. I've got older, you know, and it's just not the same as it was.
How many times do you think you've been to prison?
Six times, I should think. That first big one, and then after that it's been little sentences. I've had a couple of years, I've had a couple of months. It's been like that through the addiction.
Yeah.
Homeless, I think there's been about 3 times I've been homeless now. The first time, I think I've been a bit of around the coast on my homeless trip. I can remember I went to rehab in 2003, and I went to rehab and they took me off some medication too quick, and they didn't really know a lot about the Valium back then, and I'd been on it years because of my nerves, and they took me off it too quick and I relapsed, and I ended up on the streets in Weston-super-Mare, and I went into Narcotics Anonymous to get clean then, and I managed to get a bit of clean time. And then I just kept going back, so I ended up homeless again, and then I ended up moving towns because I'd mess it up before I'd just mess everything up everywhere I went. It was just like that. And I'd end up homeless in different towns. And I thought it was going to be the same here. I thought, well, no, it's going to be exactly the same. I'll get in a nice shelter, going to meet people who are using again, I'll get into it. You know, it was like that, and it was just never ending. You know, it's been a few times I've been homeless now. I've slept on beaches, I've been all over the place really. But this time's just, I don't know, just something happened, something clicked, and it was just, I don't know. But I've never known, you know, the night shelters I've been in have been absolutely horrible, honestly. So I've had that thought of a night shelter ever since. And since I've been in this one, it's just completely different. It's nothing that I was expecting. Support, and it's amazing, it's unbelievable, and the people, I just can't say enough. I really can't.
What would you say to somebody who was considering going to homeless shelter that has the same kind of impression that you did about homeless shelters?
I think really what it is, if this person, well, I've only got experience with addiction, I suppose. So if it was someone with addiction, I could, you know, relate to it. I could say, you know, if you really want to get clean, then you will. If you really want it, you will, and you'll get the support to do it because people know you want it. And then I could do that. But coming from someone else's perspective, you know, just give it a go. You just don't know. You know, I didn't know. I thought it was going to be the same. And you know, I can never praise this one enough. It is just done something amazing in my life for me. So you know.
Did you ever think you'd die from your addiction? Do you think that would lead to your death?
Yeah, I thought that's how it was going to end. Yeah, I did think that actually. I thought that a lot of times. And I know it might sound quite, it's my point, sound quite silly actually, because my biggest fear with my nerves was dying. But there you go, I'm injecting every day, I'm doing all that, and you know, I could have died any time, but I didn't, and maybe I'm one of the lucky ones. If you really want to change, you can change. You just need to, you know, let people know you want to. Don't keep it to yourself, because it won't happen. You need to share a bit, I suppose, because I just find, you know, doing it on your own ain't going to happen. Once you've got the support there and you know you want to do it, you can do it. But the support I've had from me is amazing. It's hard to explain it. I've never had people care or people sort of love me, you know what I mean? I've always sort of, you know, scared to even ask for help. But this place made a difference big time. And the people, and even the people here, you know, just everyone just seeing what goes on. Anyway, now I've left there and I'm got my own place. I'm going to be starting voluntary work in a couple of months on nature reserve near where I live, just to get me back out, because I struggle getting out of the house with the nerve bit. But I'm willing to put up with the nerves, because you know, it's just one of them things I've got, you know, and I've always covered it up, and I've still got it. It's one of them things. But I can't say enough about what this place has done for me. I just really can't. Liz and Grant. Oh man, I just don't know what else to say about it. I really don't. I just never known it so much love and care to come off people. And now I'm just sort of like getting settled into life again and moving on, really. I know I'm saying it's sweating a nervous wreck, but it's alright, because I know this is how I am and that's how it is. But yeah, things are a lot better.